Supported the Formula One Grand Prix here at Imola. Now we are back here to start our third season. 33 drivers out there on circuit, all trying to become the next champion and follow in the footsteps of Gregoire Saucy, who won our first title in 2021, and Dino Beganovic, who won the title in 2022. Both of those now racing in FIA Formula 3. My name's Chris McCarthy. It's an absolute pleasure to be calling the action for you. If you are a returning viewer, thank you very much for joining us once again. It is great to have you back along. And if you're watching for the first time, welcome to FRECA. Where have you been for the last 2 seasons? These are the drivers you will be watching in FIA Formula 2, FIA Formula 3, and no doubt Formula 1 over the next few years. Currently, we have 16 drivers racing across Formula 2 and Formula 3 who have graduated from FRECA, including the top 4 in the FIA Formula 3 standings: Gabriel Bortoleto, Gregoire Saucy, Dino Beganovic, and Gabriele Mini. 7 of the top 10 have come up from FRECA. So these are the next drivers who will be going on to race in that paddock. But first, they have 10 rounds to take on. A couple of changes to bring you up to speed with before we go through the grid. We have a new team on the grid this year. We wave goodbye to FA Racing and welcome Santiloc Racing. The French team come to the grid and bring with them Emo Fittipaldi Jr., the youngest ever driver we have had in the series. He turned 16 only last month, and he also brings with him Lucas Medina as well, the Colombian driver. And we also have a new venue as well. Each year we bring a new venue to the championship, and this season it will be Hockenheim. We are going to go back to Germany. It's going to be a fantastic place where we will end our season. It comes in to replace Monaco. Hockenheim, some of the teams would have raced there in the Formula Renault Euro Cup in 2019 and 2020. I was lucky enough to be there myself, and I can tell you those were some of the best races I got to commentate on. So that is going to be an absolute thriller to end the season. Who's going to be fighting for the championship then? Well, we will find out over the next 9 rounds. Starting on pole position, we are going to have a rookie, only for the 3rd time in the championship's history. The last time we had a rookie starting on pole position, it was a man called Dino Beganovic in 2021 in the season finale at Monza. It didn't end very well for him on that day, but you can see what he's gone on to do since then. Isaac Hadjar was the other rookie who has started from pole position. Did that in Monaco back in 2021, and when he did, he went on to win that day. So no doubt Martini Stenchon with this performance is already turning heads from above. What an entrance to the championship for him. And he is going to start from pole position for our race GP. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the Prema Racing driver, will be alongside him. He comes in as the champion from the Formula Regional Middle East Championship and also the Italian and ADAC F4. There were some changes to the grid. If you were with us for qualifying a little earlier, there were some penalties handed out. That is why Martini Stenchel is starting on pole position. He was actually 3,000ths back from Rafael Camara in the first qualifying group that went out, but Rafael Camara's best lap was deleted due to the fact that he didn't slow down under a yellow flag. He wasn't the only driver to receive that penalty. The other drivers were Alessandro Giusti, who will start from P9, Sami Megatunev, who will start from P19, Alex Partashev was another. He's going to start down in 29th, and Victor Bernier as well. So 5 drivers had lap times deleted due to the fact that they did not slow down under yellow flags. And Camara did have 2 very good laps, but Martini Stenchon was only 3,000ths away from him in qualifying, and that meant that was good enough for the R-Race GP driver to take pole position. Well, it's a brand new season, and with it, we welcome a lot of new faces, including this man here, Enzo Scionti, the birthday boy. He turns 18 years old today. He hasn't competed in a race since 2021. Enzo was speaking to him about that a little earlier, raced in Euro Formula Open, and he said the starting procedure in that car is completely different to this car. He hadn't done a qualifying session for over a year, so he did a really good job to be as competitive as he was. He's going to start from P27 out of the 33 drivers, and he felt very good about that and was very promised with how he can go throughout the rest of the season. But a welcome to him to the championship. Really great to have him, and we wish him all the best on his birthday. Right, Martini Stenchon will start from pole position, the R-Race GP driver. As I said, only the third rookie in the championship's history to do this, and the first since Dino did it at Monza in 2021. Let's see how he can go, but he's got some very tough competition alongside him and behind him as well. The man who's going to start alongside him pulls up to the grid now. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the Mercedes Junior. He was born in Bologna, so this is very much his home race. It couldn't be more of a home race for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He has a lot of people here supporting him, he told me as well. He has lots of memories of coming to this circuit, watching racing, and he is desperate to go out and win today. Kimi Antonelli goes from the outside of row number 1. Row number 2, Rafael Camara, the man who did qualify on pole position, the Brazilian driver, another who considers this a home race. We don't go as far as Brazil, but Camara, for obvious reasons, with all the Brazilian flags around Senna, a bit of a hero of his as well. He really considers this one a bit of a home race and loves this circuit, and really desperate to go out there and win. If he's going to do so, he's going to have to try and pass a couple of cars now. Santiago Ramos, welcome to the front of the grid, sir. His best qualifying session before this round was 13th place, and that came here at Imola last season. Now in those RPM colours, the Mexican doing so well, looking to score his first points in the championship. I'd say he has a pretty good job there from the outside of row number 2. Row 3, Lorenzo Fluxa started the season last year with a podium. Let's see if he can do the same this year. That's his only podium in the championship so far, and he is here to win this series. He's coming in for his 3rd season. Lorenzo Fluxa really happy with how things are going in the Prema Racing 10, and he is going to start from row 3. A brilliant start to the season for Lorenzo Fluxa. Let's see how he can get on when the lights go green. Alongside him, we are going to have Kaz Havikort, who finished 5th in race 1 at Imola last year. And here is the Van Amersfoort driver. He comes into this season as the highest returning seed. He finished 5th in the championship last year. He's one of 3 drivers who finished in the top 10 in the championship to come back, put in some fantastic performances, including coming from 14th on the grid at Red Bull Ring to go and win the race. So he knows how to overtake. He's going to be starting from 6th place. On row number 4, we are going to have Tim Tramnitz, who had a very good round here last year. He's now racing with the R-Race GP team. His teammate, of course, Stenchon, starting at the front there. Tramnitz had a 9th and a 7th last year here at Imola, so does go well at this circuit, and he's going to start from P7. Alongside him, we will have Nikhil Bora. He's going to be on the outside of row number 4. His younger brother, Akshay Bora, was out racing earlier in Italian F4 in the first race and finished in 4th place. So no doubt he'll be cheering him on. And Nikhil, what a fantastic debut to the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine for him. He's going to start from P8 and was the top driver from the Trident team. There you can see 3-minute board going up. We will see the grid now starting to clear. Let's go through the rest of the top 10. Here we can see the full grid on screen. So we've got Stenchon and Kimi Antonelli there on row number 1. Antonelli will no doubt be trying to challenge Stenchon, but Stenchon will want to get off to a winning start, having got pole position. Rafael Camara, the Brazilian, he wants to win here. He's going to be on row 2 with Santiago Ramos. Then Lorenzo Fluxa and Kaz Havicourt come next. Tim Tramnitz and Nikhil Bora, they're welcome to the championship. He's going to be on row number 4. And rounding out the top 10, French F4 champion Alessandro Giusti and the man who was almost rookie champion last year, Josh Dufek. Then Roman Belinsky, who was delayed in a lot of his laps in qualifying. He's just outside the top 10 with Lawrence Van Hopen in the ART car. That team struggling a little bit so far this weekend, but still plenty of time to go. Mateusz Zagazeta very happy to be up there on row 7. Michael Belov back in the championship. He starts from P14. Then Victor Bernier, one of the drivers to get his best time deleted. He's on row 8 with Owen Tangavelu, the Frenchman, now racing for the RPM team. Then we have Joshua Dirksen. He's going to be on row number 9 with Delano Vantoff. Great to have Delano back for a full season, now fully recovered from his injuries of last year. Sami Megatunif and Maceo Capietto round out the top 10. Two drivers who were very quick in pre-season testing, particularly Capietto. The Sauber Academy driver, Marcus Amman, will be on row number 11 with the Formula Regional Oceania champion, Charlie Wirtz. Then we have the Ferrari Driver Academy member, Maya Verg, alongside her teammate, Shannon Legassi. The youngest ever driver to compete in this championship, Emo Fittipaldi Jr. with the new team, Santilog, come next. Then it's going to be Niels Coolen alongside him for Van Amersfoort. Birthday boy Enzo Scionti will be on row 14 with Irishman Adam Fitzgerald for the RPM team. Alex Partashev, the Ukrainian driver, will round out the top 30 with British driver Tom Leben, his first European race in a European championship since he was in karting. Giovanni Maschio will be next with Levi Revesh. And then we have Lucas Medina rounding out the field. The Colombian driver will start from 33rd place. And just like that, the grid is cleared and we are left with 33 Formula Regional cars all lined up, ready to go. They have done all the pre-season tests, they've done all the practice, they've done their qualifying. Now it is time to go racing. This is when it really gets serious. No doubt the nerves building. They'll have their warm-up lap, then they'll form up on the grid just like you see them now. Then the lights will start to come on and it will be a race down to the Tamburello chicane. No problems getting away off the line there for Stenshorn, and hopefully that is the same case for all the drivers. Oh no, the ski was a little bit slow in the black and white G4, but thankfully gets away okay. And now we see all the drivers making their way down towards Tamburello for the first time. This, their warm-up lap, speaking to the drivers earlier, they say this is a track they all really enjoy driving, one that is tough to drive, where you've got to be on the edge, and for that reason you can see the gravel on the exits there and how quickly it approaches. So that is something they're all going to have to keep an eye on. The race length will be 30 minutes plus a lap. If you are a new viewer to the championship, then you might not have heard of our push-to-pass season. And for those of you returning, let's remind you with how it works. It was a system that was introduced last season, a push-to-pass button that triggers additional engine performance for a period of up to 15 seconds when activated by the button on the steering wheel. The drivers must reach 4th gear before they can activate it, and speaking to them, they say you're around the start-finish line when this happens. This will become active after the completion of the first lap of racing. In the circumstances of a safety car, then it will become active as soon as we cross the start-finish line on the safety car restart. So we have seen in the past drivers hit the start-finish line and hit push-to-pass, as long, of course, as they are in 4th gear, and they get to use this 5 times per race. They can use that whenever they like. The fun thing about it is we don't know when they're using it, so the other drivers around them, they don't know when their competitors are using it either, nor do the teams, and that's what makes it very fun. Oh dear, is that Santiago Ramos coming into pit lane? I think it is. The RPM car I saw coming into the pit lane. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but Santiago Ramos seems to have peeled into the pits. No problems for Stenchorn or Kimi Antonelli. Kamara, we can see there, the number 8, the Brazilian, a track that means a huge amount to him with all the Brazilian flags we have laying around the Imola circuit. He will be desperate to get the win. Having lost that pole position to a penalty, he will want to get on the attack. So push to pass, as I said, comes active after the completion of lap 1. No pit stops in this race. Well, none are required anyway, so if you find yourself in the pit lane, you are usually in for a pretty bad day at the office. 30 minutes plus a lap. It is a sprint all the way to the flag. Points-wise, they go to the top 10 in the championship. It works the same as Formula One. 25 to the winner, 18 for second, 15 for third, and so on. No points for fastest laps, no points for pole positions. It's as simple as that. And our top rookie will join our top 3 on the podium. That said, our lead rookie currently is starting from pole position. Our second rookie starts from P9. Here we go then. It's been a long, long wait to get Freca Racing back once again, but the wait is now over. To the left of screen is Kimi Antonelli, to the right Martinia Stenchorn. For the first time in 2023, we are go in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, and a great start from Stenchorn there. He will lead us down towards Tamburello for the first time. Antonelli slotting into second place, Kamara into third, and that is Fluxa into fourth place. Do we get the ball through safely? No. One of the KIC drivers has gone off in the background, and we've had someone else go off on the exit of Tamburello. Looks like they've rejoined, but as it stands, everyone's still just about running safely. Havercourt trying to get on the move as well. He's fighting away with the likes of Tramnitz, and there we have the number 23 car of Alex Partashev. Unfortunately, he is off. I think Adam Fitzgerald could be the RPM car in trouble. It will either be him or Maceo Capietto, so we'll confirm that once we know more. But a real shame to see Partashev out of the race. If he can't get going, we may see the safety car come out here. But there we can see one of the Trident cars as well. I think that's Tangavelu running a little bit wide, coming out of Aqua Minerali. They come through Variante Alta for the first time, and safety car is out. There's Tangavelu getting down the inside, the 43 car, slotting down the inside of Marcus Armand there, the Sauber Junior. But unfortunately, the safety car is out. It was Capietto, by the way, the RPM driver, who's had problems. The Alpine safety car now makes its way onto the circuit. Capietto was the driver who went off, and it looked like he had suspension damage. So I think we're going to see Capietto into the pit lane. So it's been a busy start to the race for the RPM crew, and not one they would have been expecting. Sadly, Alex Partashev is not going to make it to the checkered flag. A real shame to see him out. Let's take a look back at the start. So we had someone stall off the line. That was Charlie Wirtz, who stalled off the line as well. He's dropped down to 30th place. He did get going again. Let's look at what happened there. We see Wirtz in the number 9, stalled off the line, and then got going on second attempt. So he'll be glad to see that safety car come out. Right, let's look for the black and red of KIC. There we have it. Goes off into the gravel. It looked like he made a little bit of contact with, I think it could have been one of the ART drivers perhaps. And then we had more damage on the exit of Tamburello. Capietto went off, and that's where the suspension damage, I think, may have been picked up. Capietto is in the pit lane, trying to get that one sorted. So we may have already lost 2 drivers from this race. Everyone else got through okay. So Stenchorn does lead from Antonelli, Kamara, Fluxa. So the Prema trio behind the lead RSGP car. Then Havercourt is P5, so he's made a place at the start, of course, at the expense of Ramos, who has already had to come into the pits. Then we have next along Tim Tramnitz, who is in 6th. Nikhil Bora is in 7th. Alessandro Giusti is P8. Then it's Dufek in 9th. And a good start from Michael Belov as well. Really getting his elbows out. Given we've not seen him compete in a race like this since Zandvoort last year. That's really impressive from Michael Belov, and shows why he is a driver out there with the most podiums. 7 to his name so far. 2 wins to his name, just like Kaz Havicourt has. And he's moved up to 10th. Van Hopen up to P11 at the start. Then Belinsky has gone up to has dropped to P12. So he'll be looking to make up some places. Dirksen is next. Zagazeta is next, a driver who has managed to finish every race very cleanly so far. Bernier is 15th, and Vanthoff, Tangavelu, Armand rounding up the top 20. Megatunif, Fittipaldi, Legassi, and it's Kulin, Berg, Shionti, Fitzgerald, Leben, Revesh, Maschio, Medina, Bert. Ramos is another that would have been glad to see that safety car. We'll see what he can do. He's got a lot of progress to try and make up, but he's got a lot of positives, I think, to take into the rest of the season. And Partishev, we've seen his car being recovered. Capietto doesn't appear to have come back out on circuit, so it looks like we may have lost him from the race. And a real shame for the RPM team, having had such a good qualifying session earlier. It's been a very difficult start to the race for them. Well, there we see Stenchon just doing his best to keep the tyres up to temperature. Like I said, we haven't seen anyone, no one would have been given the chance to use the push-to-pass system just yet. So that will happen when we cross the line next time, as the safety car does peel in. When that happens, we will see the push-to-pass become active as soon as the cars cross the start-finish line. So that might be something already on the mind of Kimi Antonelli, on the mind of Rafa Kamara, Lorenzo Fluxa likewise. Oh dear, now Arden have Tom Leben in the pit lane as well, and that's a front wing needing change. So a good strategy for them. If he needs any damage, now's the time to do it while the safety car is out. It's been quite a significant jump for Tom, coming up from GB3 since stepping out of karting, where he had great success at both national and European level. He's raced in Ginetta Juniors back in the UK, and then the GB3 Championship, where he finished 3rd in that. So Tom Leben now having to get used to racing in Europe again and learning brand new circuits. He was champion of Ginetta Juniors in 2020, and he makes his way back out onto the pit lane, makes his way back out of the pit lane now and onto the start-finish straight. There we see all the drivers formed up behind the safety car. Rafa Kamara there in the 8th. He'll be another that is hoping to try and line up a pass, but Stenchon is the one leading, and safety car is going to be in this lap. Stenchon, who raced in Italian F4 last year, so he's used to racing against Antonelli and Kamara. Finished 7th in that championship overall. Took 3 top 10s here in F4 last year as well. As for Antonelli, this was actually the only track he didn't win at on his way to winning that Italian F4 title, and he did so in quite some fashion as well. So he'll be hoping to change that and go and get a win here, but he's going to have to get past Stenchon, who was very good off the line, I have to say, for someone also in their first race, to both Stenchon and Antonelli. Great launches, particularly Stenchon, who's a rookie. It was a great start for him. Let's see what he can do now, though, as we go racing once more. Remember, push to pass will become active, and it will be used for up to 15 seconds. They get to use it 5 times in the race. Right, let's go racing once again as we came down to Rebecca. Stenchon got his foot down and he's already got a bit of a gap there to Antonelli as we make our way down the start-finish straight. Great launch from Stenshorn. He leads us down the start-finish straight here. Antonelli, I don't think saw that one coming at all, and now they can use push to pass, and Kaz Havigor in the black and orange. Van Amersfoort maybe trying to do that on Lorenzo Fluxa. He goes to look to the inside, looks back to the outside. Nikhil Bora in the Trident, in the red, white and blue Trident was another. He was trying to line up a move on Tim Tramnitz there as well. Whoa, one of the other Tridents getting all crossed up. That was Tangavelu, who's battling away with Vanthof for 16th place. Zagazeta has lost a place to Victor Bernier. Victor Bernier, the first of the orange MP cars in queue, coming down towards Tosa as they now come up to Piratella, make the steep climb up to Piratella. We can see Havigor, it looks like he's just behind Fluxa there. Tried to get ahead of Lorenzo Fluxa, but Fluxa's settled down nicely since having that brief attack from Kaz Havigor as they make their way down through Aqua Minerale for the first time of the restart. We'll keep an eye on Michael Belov in that black and white G4 car as well. He is trying to make more places up here, running just around the top 10. There we see Michael Belov running behind Lawrence Van Hopen. He'll be hoping to try and get past Lawrence, who's in his now second season of racing in the championship and his second season of single-seater racing. Here they come, down through Rivazza 1, into Rivazza 2. 20 minutes plus a lap left, and what a first lap that is of the restart for Stenshorn. He's got a gap now to Antonelli as they come across the start-finish line, and the gap exactly is 7/10 of a second. And there we see Alessandro Giusti, the French F4 champion, going to the outside of Nikhil Bora, sells the dummy, gets down the outside, inside. Fantastic overtake there from Alessandro Giusti, and that is a place made. That is why he was French F4 champion, and Giusti makes his way up into P7 there. Now Josh Dufek comes round the outside of Nikhil Bora as well. Great opportunistic driving from Josh Dufek, and he now moves up into 8th place. Oh, Roman Belinsky there, battling away with Lawrence Van Hopen. Where did he come from? Roman Belinsky on a charge as well. He's trying to make his way up into the top 10. He's now up to P11, so back where he started. Now he's going to try and get his head down and get into the top 10. That's where the points are rewarded. There we can see them, look, all queued up behind Belinsky here on screen now. So Belinsky, having just got past Lawrence Van Hopen, will now try and build a gap. Van Hopen has Dirksen behind. We've got Bernier in there, Zakazeta in there, Vanthof is in there, Tangavelu is in there, Amand is in there, Megatunin is in there. It goes all the way back to out of the top 20, this battle. Here we see them making their way down towards Rivazza. Megatunin, the last in the queue there in the orange MP car. Gap of 1 second now for Stenshorn as well. Really good driving from the Norwegian. Antonelli is going to have to be the one looking in his mirrors here, because Rafa Kamara is starting to close in now as they come down the start-finish straight and head down to Tamburello. They hit the brakes now. We're on into race 1. A couple of laps since we have had that safety car in. And Alessandro Giusti doing a really good job in 7th place there, has to be said. He's now trying to catch Kaz Havigor. He's in the black and white G4 car, just behind Tim Tramnitz now. Here we see the number 7 of Lorenzo Fluxa. Getting a replay here of, I think that might be Sami Megatunin, is it, running wide. And Sami Megatunin there, coming out of Rivazza 2. Just running a little bit wide. It's, drivers do say, particularly through the quicker corners, you do get a lot of understeer in these cars. Very hard to follow through the likes of these chicanes, and maybe that's what we saw a symptom of there from Sami Megatunin, and that's why we saw him running wide, hopping over the curb at Variante Alta. They now make their way down towards Rivazza 1. Here we see Nikhil Bora just try to get settled down. He's got Michael Belov closing in on him though, so we may see a battle forming between those two very shortly. Antonelli is starting to stabilise the gap to Stenchorn as well. It's stayed at 1 second. That's the first time the gap hasn't risen and has stayed at 1 second. 1.1 seconds now, so Stenchorn did extend his lead coming through the last couple of corners. Nikhil Bora, though, under attack here from the number 30 there. The black and white, that's Michael Belov. Are we going to see him make a move at the top of the screen? No. Michael Belov staying in behind for now. Zagazeta has gone up to 14th. Armand has gone up to 16th. I think drivers starting to use the push-to-pass system now. They get 5 uses of it, and they can use it whenever they like. And Marcus Armand has lost 2 more places, so not too sure what's happened to the Frenchman there, but he's dropped back a couple places into 18th. Let's watch this battle for second. The 3 Prema drivers all together. Here we're going to find out what happened to Marcus Armand through Tamburello, runs wide, rejoins. There we see the Sauber Academy Junior just running wide there, and that allows Delano Batov to go through and Owen Tangavelu to go through as well. Absolutely fantastic stuff this from Martini Stenchorn. Starting to pull away now from Kimi Antonelli. Every lap you can see he's just getting his head down. And Stenchorn continuing to build his gap. What about Kaz Havercourt? We saw him on track, finishing the top 5 in both races here last year. Looking to continue that form as he makes his way down the start-finish straight behind Lorenzo Fluxa. Just can't quite get the run to get an overtake on Fluxa currently. Behind them then, it is Tim Tramnitz, who is being caught here by Alessandro Giusti. Then it is Dufek next along. We've got Belov also on the move as well. He's now closing in on Nikhil Bora at the top of screen, so we'll keep an eye on that battle. But this is Giusti here in the 3, the young Frenchman, French F4 champion, racing with the G4 Racing Squad, as Josh Dufek behind him. These two squabbling over 7th and 8th place. Then Bora at the top of screen with Belov behind, and Roman Belinsky is closing in on them as well, and he's not alone. He's got Lawrence Van Hopen for company. We're over half race distance now, 14 minutes plus the additional lap to go. Into Acqua Minerale they go. Back uphill, Stenchorn makes his way up through Variante Alta. Is he going to be able to close in on Tim Tramnitz here? It looks like he's getting closer every time. Tramnitz, the teammate of our race leader, Stenchorn. And Giusti, the young rookie, doing a really good job. Antonelli doing a good job as well to hold off Kamara and Fluxa and Havercourt. It's 4 fighting over the remaining podium positions. Tramnitz next in 6th place. He's trying to close in now as well. Tramnitz starting to up his speed. Personal best from him last time around, and he's now matching the times being set by the Prema Racing drivers. Kamara has been following Antonelli for a while, but are we going to start seeing attempts of moves being made here from Kamara, or is he going to be patient and wait to the end of the race? There we can see last lap's comparison to them. Well, kind of trading personal best between them there. Antonelli goes faster 1 lap. Kamara replies the next lap. That seems to be how it's going. But one thing we do certainly know is Stenchorn is now running away with this one. His gap is stretching to just shy of 2 seconds. Fluxa in P4, Havercourt P5. Tramnitz, Giusti, Dufek next. Then it's Bora, who has stabilised the gap to Belov. And then Belinsky next along, trying to close in on the pair of them. Downhill we go into Rivazza. Stenchon, who's used to racing the likes of Antonelli and Kamara, raced them back when he was in karting, won the WSK Supermaster Series back in 2018. It's just his second season now competing in single-seaters. He was one of many drivers over in the Middle East, over in the winter, did 3 rounds with R-Race GP, taking 4 top 10 finishes in total. So put in a really good stint over in the Middle East, and that has certainly helped him get up to speed here. You can see the confidence being shown from Stenchon. R-Race GP, who have had 2 very good seasons. Of course, they were the team that ran Gabriel Bortoleto last year. Oh no, Roman Belinsky is starting to drop down the order. Not too sure what's happened to the Polish driver, but he is dropping down the order. We'll pick that up in just a second, but one thing I was going to say is R-Race GP, of course, ran Gabriel Bortoleto, and what a job he's doing now. Oh, it was at Tamburello. Belinsky running wide, coming into the chicane there, and just trying to get the car going again. I don't think he's been able to, and he's pulled over, aborted that attempt, and that, unfortunately, is an early bath for Roman Belinsky. He's going to be very, very disappointed with that one. Showed some fantastic pace in qualifying earlier. Of course, we see Roman Belinsky on the podium at Hungary last year. He took a couple of rookie wins, the other coming at Paul Ricard, but just couldn't quite get a lap in. Was delayed on most of his push laps, he was telling me, but was feeling very positive about the pace that he showed. Definitely gave it everything there. Points to the top 10. He gave that absolutely everything, I'm sure, and unfortunately it's ended in the gravel, but tomorrow's a new day. They go qualifying tomorrow morning, and then we race again tomorrow afternoon. There we see the number 26 of Victor Bernier, who's having a pretty good race so far. Started in P15, he's moved up to 12th. Those regular viewers might remember seeing him do absolutely brilliant job, both at Barcelona last year, where he qualified very well in both races, then did the same at Mugello, and got a deserved podium there. But for the second time this season, we see the safety car out, and that is now going to start get people thinking how they can attack their rivals ahead of them. Nikhil Bora running inside the points. It would be a great debut to the series for him if he could pick up a 9th place and be the top driver in that Trident team. Trident doing really good things currently in FIA Formula 3, and that's where all these guys are pushing to get to next. As I said at the top of the show, currently 16 drivers who have raced in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine over the last 2 seasons, now competing in Formula 2 and Formula 3, including the top 4 in the Formula 3 Championship. There we see Josh Dirksen in the number 10. Wasn't the best qualifying for him, but he'll have big hopes ahead of this season. He's feeling very positive coming into the weekend. And he's a driver who knows how to overtake as well. We saw him come from the very back of the field at Zandvoort last year and make his way all the way up the order, gaining 17 places on that day. Started in dead last, moved all the way up the order. So Joshua Dirksen, a driver who really knows how to make places. Right, looks like we're going to be going racing once more, and is Stenchon going to take the same approach? Yes, he is. Goes just before the downhill at Rivazza there. And we are back underway and racing for the third time, and Stenchon leads us up the start-finish straight. Remember, push to pass is active as they hit the start-finish line, which is coming up now, so they can get on that button right now and get that 15 seconds of extra power if they want to. Is Alessandro Giusti going to do that? I think he is. We can see him there trying to sell the dummy, do the same move he did last time. This time, not going to work. Tim Tramnitz was wise to it there, covered it off, and Tim Tramnitz will stay in 6th place. Now they come down to the Villeneuve chicane here. Leading the way is Stenchon, then Kimi Antonelli, then Kamara, Fluxa, Havakort, Tramnitz, and it looks like in the background, Nikhil Bora side by side with Josh Dufek. Dufek gets down the inside there, gets his elbows out, and that is 8th place for Josh Dufek, going side by side with Nikhil Bora. Defending possibly as well there from Nikhil Bora, so those two have been fighting away, haven't they, pretty much all race. Been great to see those two going head-to-head. Nikhil Bora trying to get round the outside at Toza, would have been a great move from him, but now he has to be looking in his mirrors, because just behind we can see Michael Belov. Stenchon leading as they come up to Variante Alta. They got to really slam that curve. Oh, a bit of a moment there for Dufek in the orange and black Van Amersfoort car. Will that open an opportunity here for Nikhil Bora to get on the attack? We'll keep an eye on those two out front. Stenchon is once again opening example. I can see Dufek was defending from Bora. Look at the top of screen, you can see them. Dufek now, not just Bora behind, but he has Belov behind, Van Hopen behind, and Belov there side by side with Bora. That's Marcus Armand in the Sauber Academy colours. He has gone off the circuit briefly, but this looks like Nikhil Bora is about to lose a place to the G4 driver of Michael Belov, who dives down the inside, round the outside of the pair of them. Goes Lawrence Van Hopen. How on earth did he get the car stopped in time? Lawrence Van Hopen goes up into P9, but only briefly. Michael Belov will help himself to that place now. Nikhil Bora side by side here with Lawrence Van Hopen, and going round the outside there was Victor Bernier to get himself up into P11. Not a good few corners for Bora there. What a move that was, though. Oh no, we got the 75 off Lawrence Van Hopen, who made a great move. Has he made contact with the number 6? That's Adam Fitzgerald and Lucas Medina, who are both off, and that will bring out the safety car once more. So the safety car comes back out, but what a few corners that was there. Bora will be very disappointed. Unfortunately, he's dropped down to 12th place. But Van Hopen sending it round the outside of both of them. Couldn't quite get the speed on the exit, and Belov helping himself to 9th place. Van Hopen, though, still with that move, comes out of it in 10th, and Bernier just helped himself to P11. Bora drops to P12. Zagazeta right there in 13th place as well. Well, now it's a case of how quickly we can get these cars recovered. Unfortunately, it was Adam Fitzgerald who was out in the number 75. It's just been a disastrous race, sadly, for the RPM team, and Lucas Medina as well, the Santalok driver. Not the entrance to the championship that he or the team would have wanted. But as we said earlier, we go again tomorrow. Right, that's Medina, who is gone off, and he's got a puncture to the rear right. So that's what's happened to him. Who he's had contact with, we are not sure. I wouldn't like to assume it was Fitzgerald, but at least we know that's what's happened to Medina. And it looks like fantastic work from our marshals getting them recovered, but the decision has been made to throw the red flag on this race. And the message comes through from race control that the race will not restart, which means Martinius Stenchon will be our race winner. We're going to have a rookie standing on the top step of the podium. What a fantastic performance there from Martinius Stenchon. We saw our race GP do it with Isaac Hadjar back at in 2021 at Monaco when he took pole position and won on the Saturday race. And now Martini Stenchon follows in the footsteps of the former RHGP driver and the man who now races in Formula 2 and is backed by the Red Bull Junior program. Martini Stenchon will win the first race of the season. We have a rookie on the top step of the podium. What a start to the season that is. Kimi Antonelli will be in second place. A great start to the season for the Mercedes Junior here on his local circuit as well. Oh, there we go. Well, that's Giovanni Maschio, who I imagine was using the push to pass and went to get out of the toe of Medina and just maybe didn't anticipate how quickly he was closing in. He's picked up damage to his front wing, but this should mean Medina will finish where he was because the race will go back a lap, so Medina will still be classified in 27th place. And this might mean we see changes made to the top 10 as well. I think this might see Bora put back into the top 10, but we'll confirm at the end of the race when we get the results. But my screen shows that Bora goes back, so I think the race will go back a lap, and that means all that overtaking we saw down at turn 1 at Tamburello, I don't think those changes of position will actually stand. But one thing we know for certain is that Stenchon is going to be our race winner. It's going to be a winning start to the season for RHGP. And the second time they have won here at Imola. They took victory here in the Formula Renault Euro Cup with Caio Collet in 2020. Now they win with Martini Stenchon, someone looking to go on into the Formula One paddock. This is going to turn a lot of heads. There's no doubt about that. That's an absolutely superb performance. For the first time, we have a Norwegian driver standing on the top step of the podium as well. History made here at Imola on the very first race of this season. What a season we have ahead, and what a first winner, Martini Stenchon for RHGP. Congratulations to him and the team. He really deserved that. Whether there was a safety car at the end or not, I don't really think that would have made a difference. Every time we restarted, he immediately made a gap over the rest of the field. And given that's his first race in the championship, he raced like he'd been here for 2 seasons. Andrea Kimi Antonelli will join him on the podium with Rafael Camara, the Bologna-born driver, and the Brazilian filling the podium with Stenchon. Lorenzo Fluxer, great result for him to get into 4th place. Kaz Havikor, 5th place once again. Just the same result he had in the first race here last year. Then Tramnitz Giusti, a fantastic performance from him for P7. Josh Dufek was 8th. Bora 9th. Then we have Belov in 10th. As the race goes back a lap, Van Hopen will drop to 11th place. Then it's Bernier, Zagazeta, Bantov, Dirksen, Tangavelu, Megatunith, Armand Fittipaldi in the top 20. Likewise, Maya Berg, that was her goal for the race. Fitzgerald will be classified in 22nd behind Shannon Lugassi in 21st. Santiago Ramos did a good recovery job, didn't he, given he came into the pits at the start. 23rd for him. Levi Ravesh next. Enzo Scionti, on his birthday, turns 18 today. He finishes in 25th and can be happy with that. Then Medina, Maschio, Kulin, Levin are non-finishers. Belinsky, Capio and Bartoshev. Let's go back to the highlights where it all started. There we saw the RHGP driver of Stenchon leading us down towards turn number 1. Sadly, already we'd seen Ramos, who was due to start on the second row, come into the pits, and then contact saw Alex Partashev going off into the gravel on the exit of the Tamburello chicane, and that would bring out the safety car. And on the restart, Stenchon did not look back at all. He immediately got a gap, but what about this for a move? Sell the dummy down the inside, have some of that. Giusti making the move there on Nikhil Bora. That is going to be a hard move to beat for move of the weekend. Some great racing all the way throughout, but Imola getting the better of plenty of the drivers, as we saw for Marcus Armand and the number 75 of Adam Fitzgerald. They're both going off at Tamburello. Out front, though, it would still be leading the way for Stenchorn. Belinsky trying to get into the top 10. As he was doing so, went off into the gravel, was out the race, so that brought out the safety car once more. Then how about this? Lawrence Van Hopen round the outside of 1, round the outside of 2, and still managed to get it stopped in time. But Belov would go back through. All of this, though, sadly wouldn't count because we would see 2 cars going off. That's how one of them was caused. We saw a puncture from Medina after contact from Giovanni Maschio. And we also saw Fitzgerald stopped on the circuit as well. So red flags come out with less than 4 minutes on the clock. And that meant it was confirmed that Stenchorn was our winner from Antonelli and Camara. So Rafael Camara comes out onto the podium, his first race in the championship, and he begins it with a podium. I'm sure that's going to be the first of many for Rafael Camara. Likewise for this man here, I'm sure we're going to hear a big cheer. The Bologna-born driver, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, on the podium. That'll feel good to him, and I'm sure that another first of many podiums. We have the Ferrari driver on the podium, a Mercedes driver, and the first time on the top step, a Norwegian driver as well. RHGP winning with rookie driver Martinez Stenchorn. An absolutely fantastic performance from him, following in the footsteps of Isaac Hadjar, who won as a rookie at Monaco back in 2021. And there will be many from the F1 paddock who come here in just a few weeks' time who will be looking at that performance and will be incredibly impressed. There we see trophies coming out. Rafael Camara, well, he'll be hoping to get pole again tomorrow and stay there. Of course, a penalty meant that he didn't quite hold on to that pole position. Camara, Mercedes Junior, second place for him. 2 drivers on the podium for Prema, those the reigning teams and drivers champions. But on the top step, RHGP, absolutely fantastic stuff. Giancarlo Minardi there presenting the trophies. He is not only the overall winner, but he's the rookie winner as well. Martinez Stenchorn on the top step. What an exciting season we have ahead for him. Well done to him. RHGP, our winning team. Big celebrations from them, I'm sure. But of course, we will go again tomorrow. Let's now have our national anthem from Norway. Well, it's not a national anthem we've heard on the Frecker podium before, but after that performance, I think we're going to hear it a lot more times. That is the first race of the season complete, the first of 20 races. Of course, we go all again tomorrow. We're going to have qualifying coming up here from Imola at 9 o'clock local time. That's when Group B will go out. Group A will be out at 9:20. And then race 2 will be at 55 minutes past 2 tomorrow. Celebrations on the podium, but focus will immediately turn to race 2 and qualifying 2 tomorrow. Make sure you join us then. For now, though, it's goodbye.